Okay, this video is on negative numbers. So I've drawn a number line and we're going to start off with a real simple back to basics. So when you're adding, you would go right on a number line, and when you're subtracting, you would go to the left. So I've put two examples up to talk through. So 8 take away 10 is negative 2, and I'll show you how we get it. So if you start at 8 and you subtract 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you would go 10 places to the left, you would end up at negative 2. If you were at negative 4 and you added 3, 1, 2, 3, you would end up at negative 1 because you would move 3 places to the right. So add, go to the right, subtract, go to the left. If you struggle with negative numbers, don't worry about drawing a quick number line. That will help you out a lot and it will save you lots of time. So draw a number line if you're not too sure. Okay, moving on to adding and subtracting negative numbers. They're also called integers. So integers just means positive and negative numbers. If you hear the word integers, it just means working with negative numbers as well. So if you see two symbols right beside each other, you can see I've got some examples down here with two symbols right beside each other with no number in between. There might be a bracket in between, but there's no numbers in between. So if you see two signs the same, you have to replace them. So if you see a plus and a minus, and it doesn't matter the order, you will replace that with a negative symbol. And if you see 2 plus or 2 minus right beside each other, you will replace that with a plus sign. So 3 plus minus 2 just means 3 take away 2. So the answer would be 1. A plus minus up here means take away. So you replace the plus minus with a subtraction sign. 2 pluses just means add. So we're going to do 5 plus 1, which is 6. Example 3, 2 minus signs or take away signs just means add. So 13 for 9 plus 4. Moving on to question 4. A minus followed by a plus means take away. Minus followed by a plus means take away. So if they're both different, you subtract. If they're both the same, you add. 5 take away 8 is negative 3. And if you don't know that off the top of your head, just go back and look at a number line and count 8 places to the left. Okay, number 5. This means start at negative 2 and take away another 4. So you'll see I'm putting the second line of working in for all of these questions just to explain what we're actually doing and then the final answer. So if you ever get two signs right beside each other, please put that extra line of working in. It'll help you work it out as well. So negative 2 take away 4 is negative 6. Moving on to example 6, we've got two minus signs here. So that would be negative 6 plus 4. Negative 6 on a number line plus 4 would get you up to negative 2 because you would go 4 places to the right. So when you're adding or subtracting negative numbers, if you've got two signs that are different, it'll mean take away. And if you've got two signs that are the same, it'll mean add. But these signs have to be right beside each other. Okay, so if there was a negative sign at the front here, and a plus sign in front of the 4, but no extra sign, you wouldn't change that plus. You would keep it in. So just be careful. If you want to replace a sign, there has to be two right beside each other when you're adding or subtracting to do that. Okay, now we're going to move on to multiplying and dividing. So when, you might be able to see this is really small, but the pink is the multiplication and the division sign. So when you're multiplying or dividing, and one number is positive and one number is negative, it doesn't matter the order. So if the negative one comes first, it doesn't matter, you'll still get an overall negative answer. If they're both positive or both negative, you will get a positive answer. And this doesn't matter if you're multiplying or dividing, the same rules apply. So if the signs are different, you will get a negative answer. If the signs are the same, you will get a positive answer. So how we do this is we multiply or divide as normal and then decide if it's going to be positive or negative. So in example 1, we would just do 2 3s or 6. One's positive, one's negative. So here it is here. We're going to get an overall negative answer. So the answer is -6. We can pop our answer straight in. In question 2, you would do 4 2s are 8, but they're both negative. That's going to give us an overall positive answer, so a positive 8. No need to put a plus sign in if it's positive, you just write 8, that means positive 8. Number 3 is a division. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So 10 divided by -5 would be a positive divided by a negative, so a negative. So -2. Number 4, a negative divided by a negative would give us a positive answer. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. 24 divided by 3 is 8. The 24 is negative, and the 3 is positive, so we're going to get an overall negative answer, so -8. Question 6, 5 4s are 20, so -5 times +4 is going to be -20 because the signs are different, just like this one again. Okay, so let's go over that. If you're multiplying or dividing two numbers and one is positive and one is negative, and it doesn't matter the order, the overall final answer will be negative. If you multiply or divide two positive numbers together or two negative numbers together, you will get an overall positive answer. I want to go back over the adding and subtracting quickly. Just a quick recap. So if the signs are different, you will change the two signs in the middle to a subtraction. If the signs are the same, you will change the two signs in the middle to an addition sign. So that's a little bit different from the multiplying and dividing. You only change the signs if there are two signs right beside each other. So we change these two because they're right beside each other. Otherwise, it's just number line work. So if you get anything as easy as 8 take away 10, it just means start at 8 and subtract 10. Or if you get something as easy as -4 plus 3, just start at -4 and add 3. You wouldn't look at their signs and try and swap any signs into that. Just do number line work when it's that straightforward. Okay, hopefully that helps.